Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today, this is the Communication Access Connect, and that DVU sponsors each month. And I'm Darlene Hansen. I'm the Director of Communication Rights here with DVU, and I'll let everybody on our team here introduce themselves real quick. For those of you who don't know us, I see Tim working on his. Nina, you want to go first?
Oh, sure. Hi, I'm Nina Spiegelman, and I'm the policy director at DVU, but this is my most favorite activity of working at DVU. So welcome everybody. And whoa, last one of the year.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, we'll do them again in January, but this will be the last one for this year, 2022. William, you want to go next? Introduce yourself.
My name is William Del Rosario, and I am a 22-year-old Hispanic Filipino male with black hair, brown eyes, and my pronouns are him. I have autism, apraxia, am a multimodal communicator, and use AAC. I am a great communicator, but in my life, there have been some things I have learned that I would like to share with you about my experiences with AAC and access to communication. Supporting me today is my mom, Michelle. Thank you for making the time to be here today.
Thank you, William.
Hi,
And then
Hi, everyone. My name is Tim, and I am the Assistant Director of Communication Rights, and this is our last session for the year. And we have a small group tonight, which is nice because we can get super comfortable tonight.
excellent. Thanks, Tim. Yeah. So a couple of things. We're noticing that there may be some persons here who would benefit from ASL translation, and we apologize because we do not have an interpreter for this session because we don't have funds for that interpreter for this session. So this is always a good reason why we support and donate to Disability Voices United, because in interpreting, whether it be ASL, Spanish, Korean, or whatever other languages we need to go into, is always a priority for us to make sure that we're truly accessible to all the communities that we work in. So I apologize, and we are working on that. And if there's any way anybody can help get funding for ASL or any kind of interpretation, that would be well received. Let's see. Oh, Judy's saying, but we have applied for funds from DDS to provide ASL at all of our events. So cross your fingers for us that we're going to get that. Yeah, it's a priority for us for sure. And okay. So today, as usual, you can feel free to raise your hand or click on your hand, your internet hand here, and we'll open you up so that you can chat with us, or you can put it in the chat because we'll look there for different people's comments. But we kind of wanted to start with just knowing who's on the call, and just so we can make sure we're gearing it towards you all. So if you can, write in the chat, and if you can't write in the chat, like wave to us and we'll try and figure out a different way to communicate with you, okay? But if you can, we're just wondering, like, what age range are you representing yourself, or like you're an adult? Are you a parent with children? So the children, adults, that's pretty much it. I guess we would say early intervention. If you could put that in the chat just so we can kind of see a scroll. And again, if you aren't able to do that, wave at me. Okay, Ryan says he's doing the conference. I know what age Ryan is. Since I've known him since he was a little person. And okay, oh, and Trini's here. Hi, Trini. And then her son's 11. Okay, great. And senior in year 4 of self-determination. Wow. That's awesome. Okay, we're just asking if you want to, if you're coming online here, if you can put what age range you are. The other thing we're curious about is what's your role? Are most of you guys families, communicators, or professionals? Or other, if there's another. Families, communicators, we just kind of want to get a feel for who joins us. Mark's a 40-ish professional. Okay. Thanks for joining us, Mark. All right. Okay, so if you feel comfortable. And then we have a person working as an IF for clients as young as 11. Okay, cool. So a few professionals, I can see there's a few of you communicators online. I can tell who you are and self-advocates just because I know you. Rima is a professional, a deaf person, deaf hard of hearing coordinator at Alta. Awesome. Thanks, Rima. And Bella's here and she's 20. Okay, great. Well, that gives us a good idea of who. Feel free to keep that coming. But Tim, you want to go?
I noticed Dieva Kasnitz is joining us. If you don't know her, she is a well-known professor and author of disability studies. Deva, would you like to introduce yourself to all of us?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, I have said hello in the chat as well.
I see that.
I am an anthropologist, and I am teaching for clinic, and I am old lady of 72, but I have not retired yet. So
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us, Diva. Am I saying that, Diva? Is that right? Or Deva?
She needs permission to unmute again.
Oh, sorry. How did that happen? Okay, 1 second, Deva. Where's my buttons? Add help.
I have asked Deva to unmute. Deva, if you could please unmute.
Deva,
You.
Deva, in the
Okay.
or in devastation.
Okay. Deva. Right,
I also work with communication first.
right. And so Deva is an activist with communication first as well.
Yeah.
And the professor at SUNY.
Yeah.
CUNY, that's CUNY, Darlene. It's in the city University of New York.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, lots of people. Okay, Tim put a little website. You put your link here, Deva, on our thread. Okay, so in the past 6 months, we've had people talking about getting equipment, right? The evaluators. We've had people talking about communication partners. We've had a conversation about with Latif about true inclusion, like education and employment. And we're just wondering if you did participate in those conversations, what did any of those conversations spark for you? Like, did it inspire you to go somewhere else, to do something, to change something, or to look into and maybe just research a little bit? Anybody have anything that from any of the the sessions that we did that they want to share? Anybody? And you can raise your hand if you want to speak something. I'm giving everybody a chance to type if they want to type anything. I know that for us, Tim and I just recently, this past couple of weeks or week, maybe it's been only, we've been talking about the fact that there might be something that we can do to help employers understand what it means. Like, what's the social difference when you're working with an individual who uses some AAC? What are some like social etiquette almost, right? That as an employer who maybe has never had an employee who uses AAC of some sort, what can they expect? How can they help? How can they, what cultural differences might happen in their work environment? Kind of been talking about that real briefly, and that comes from Latif's conversation. For me anyways, he inspired me to think about that a little bit more. Because especially at DVU, we have many AAC users, of course, on our team. And I noticed that there's differences, like for myself as being a person who hasn't had colleagues who use AAC, but only had clients who use AAC. But as there's differences in the way we engage with each other. Anybody?
Darlene, I'll just jump in just real quick, because I mean, this entire, these sessions, especially our interaction with all of you out there, it's like a constant source of spark and inspiration I know for our work on policy stuff, in our bills, in our, when we comment in work groups, we always are including, and now, it's very much more accepted than it was to say, wait a minute, communication, that the thing we always all talk about, it's supposed to be the first thing, the first question asked, the first thing we think about. And so whatever the subject matter is of, whether it's conservatorship reform or fair hearings, the issue of making sure whatever you're doing, supported decision-making agreements, they are recognized the way the person communicates, and that their communication is supported. So I think that, it just keeps keeping everything in front of mind is so important. And I was at, I think that in sort of next year in things to do with what you and Tim were just discussing, things like having someone come on from supported employment, which is really an amazing service, how that, though some of those folks may have some good ideas about that bridge of employers, because they really do a person-centered approach to hooking up with employers. So anyway, this has been very inspirational.
Yeah, I think visibility and just being out there makes a big difference, right? It's an important piece to this picture. I see Tim and William creating. Carrie, are you creating too? Okay, cool. I don't like to rush everything because I like to give people time to create. So forgive the silence for a bit. And Deva was saying that they have BAs and masters in disability studies. I wonder, like, oh, here William said this meeting each month has become a safe place to learn and support. Yeah, very true, William. Has anybody taken on the paradigm shift? I'll call it that. The paradigm shift of saying, hey, let me be the voice here at this meeting. Let me be the voice in this conversation rather than you guys talking about me. Has anybody felt like they were able to really take that seat at the table that way in the past few months? Carrie says, I used to work at a private home with 8 disabled children, but the family moved away. It was a perfect job. Oh. So now you need a new job like that. Yeah. Which community do you live in, Carrie? It's always good to put it out there to the universe. Okay, Paul has, I'm gonna unmute you, Paul. Share. I'm gonna ask to unmute you. You'll have to hit unmute, Paul.
For as long as I've been a client of San Diego Regional Center, I've led my IPP meetings and my quarterlies. And one thing that helps is I email my self-determination team weekly to give them updates.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And do you have like certain information that you include in there for them? Is it just updates on what you've been up to or anything, your budget, or how detailed do you get? Oops, sorry. Go for it.
I just tell them what's going on my week.
Great. That's a great tip. That's a really great tip. Tim and I were talking about that today too, how self-advocates really lead their self-determination plans. It's not something that everybody gets to do or talk about yet. Let's see. Oh, Carrie says she lives in Stanton. Oh, that's not too far from us. Okay. Good to know. Emma says, I give my professors a profile page about me when I start class. A person could do that with the new employer so they could better understand. That's a good tip too, Emma. Deva says, no one talks about me without me when I'm around.
When I was working at my previous job at a real office, I was the only employee that used AAC and we needed to adapt together in our meetings. For example, my colleagues needed to learn to wait for me to type out what I wanted to say. When we were meeting with new clients, other people outside of the company noticed how my colleagues and I were presenting to them, and some of them noticed a different way to communicating with others who were different from them when doing business. I was working for the same company for 16 years, and they changed the culture when I first started.
That's great. Yeah. I think that's what we want to have happen, right? How about the culture in your own IPP meetings? Anybody tested that out? Or needed to test that out? I'm going to unmute you, Paul. Go for it. Or ask to unmute you.
Yeah, it's really collaborative, positive, upbeat, and we're focusing on what can be.
Excellent. Where community do you live in?
San Diego.
You're in San Diego. That's right. Okay.
Ooh. Oh.
Tim's got some.
Paul, I think that I met you at the conference a few weeks in San Diego.
Oops. Hang on, Paul. Go for it.
Yes, we were in his class together.
Very good. Very good. Great, and William, I can see William's typing something. I'm actually look at everybody else too. I don't know if other people are. If you don't have your pictures on and you're typing something or creating something, I won't notice. Sorry. Ryan says, I have a new books. You have new books that, oh, have our new books. No, Ryan, we're having a hard time stressing out over keeping up with all the changes.
That's
But
it.
they'll-
It will
they'll-
happen. It will happen. It will happen. We're working on it.
Ryan's referring to the handbook for the STP program. It's just hard to keep up with that. Yeah. How about well, it doesn't look like anybody has any evaluation things. I'm looking at my notes here. What kind of thing? Oh, okay. William's still creating, so we'll go back to it. But is there anything in particular, thinking of next year, anything in particular that you all want us to get speakers to speak on in terms of access to communication? Anybody have any requests? Or maybe we could, anybody want to volunteer like Diva, hint, hint.
William's ready, darling.
Okay, go for it, William.
Send for more. There are ups and downs, but I try to learn from the bad and find ways to improve.
Hey.
You're so nice, William. Yeah. Are you putting, William, I haven't asked, I don't know if I've asked you this question recently, but are you putting yourself at the focus of a meeting? Because I know you've been in a lot of meetings lately with all the transitions in your life. Are you making yourself the, hey, talk to me person in your meetings? Ellen says, is there an app on the iPad that looks like a letterboard to type in sentences? Yeah. Ellen, are you saying that you want an app on your iPad that you mean that looks like a QWERTY keyboard, like the keyboard on your computer? An easy one, if that is what you're talking about, this is an easy, inexpensive one. It's called Assistive Express. It is not a Word document one though. It's for communication. Oh, yeah, no. Well, yeah, that's not true. You can use in Proloquo to Go or Touch Chat, you can set up the keyboard or the letterboard in ABC order. Or in what's called QWERTY order, which is the keyboard order. So yes, that would be how you would set that up. You would use like Touch Chat or Proloquo to Go or and just don't change it over to the QWERTY format and it'll be ABC format. Does that make sense? That's for Ellen. Yeah. Cool. I think Tim and William are creating here. Deva says, I could do a presentation for you about using a revoicer and other techniques. Ooh, I love that. And other techniques that I've used in my life. That would be awesome.
That would be so great.
We will talk to you after, we'll give you till the holidays are over. So after the new year, we'll connect on that. Deva. Okay, that would be good. Yeah, perfect.
You ready?
Okay, Ryan got the new Accent 1400. So you got a new device, Ryan. Are you recommending it? Do you like it? Shake your head, Ryan. Do you like it? Yeah, cool. All right. Did you get follow-up support with it, Ryan? No. No. Do you feel like you needed it? Yes? Or no? I'm not sure. No, you don't need any follow-up support? Maybe you better type it out. All right. I hope that anybody who needs it gets it. Oh, William, why isn't your hand raising? Oh, it's blending into the background. Okay, got it. Go, William.
Yes, easy to do on Zoom. I am at the center. I am also using telephone.
Wow. That's great. Okay, good, good. Do you think you're getting more services this way? Or you're getting more recognition and acknowledgement? William?
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Eh,
Emma says, I was in my IPP meeting for the first time. I stayed the whole time and participated. It was good. Well, excellent. Excellent, Emma. So Ryan, you haven't gotten your follow-up support yet. All right. Was it authorized? No. See, that's a problem if people aren't getting support after they get their equipment. That's not good. William said, awesome, Emma. Yeah. I think Tim's still creating here. I know there's been a bunch of different hearings that have been coming up, like we have the little, what's it called, Nina? The little Hoosier?
Little Hoover Commission, the Little Hoover Commission. Yes, it's actually a state commission. It just has that name, but
Yeah.
hearing all about very intense on the on the developmental disability system in California. There's one more. The date hasn't been set. There'll be one more, but they're all, if anyone wants to watch some very dramatic testimony and just questioning, if you just go to Little Hoover Commission, the videos are posted on their website of the hearings.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so in those any of those opportunities that you have, thanks, Ed, you make sure you bring up, like Nina's saying, but all of you as well, bring up the fact that we have to think about communication. I've been hearing, especially for whatever reason, I've been hearing from school people a lot lately, and even regional center people, and I mean clients, right? But it's still, of course, because we didn't solve the problem in 6 months, but people are having to justify their need for communication supports of any kind, whether it be technology or follow-up or support people or training hours, or just the whole idea that you need to justify your communication difference. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm
Go.
wondering if we can meet up in person next year to have real socialization from our group and from other groups who hasn't met a typer before, like DRC or even staff from regional center.
So have have some in-person social groups. We should look at that and see maybe we have to do this through emails. We can see where everybody lives and then see if people can create little meetups around, because the thing is we're a state agent, a state group, right? That's a good thing, but setting up meeting times is not such a good thing. Is there one standout testimony, Nina?
Yes, yes, the third hearing is a not to miss, but they are all good. And our very own Tim, Jen, and Judy Mark are on the first one, and Judy's on the second, excuse me. Tim was on the first. So let me just say they're all really, really excellent. But for drama, go to the third.
It always gets better as the episodes go on. So Ed, that would be great to have some kind of a form where we could see where people live and then maybe organize little meetups. Like Nina's up there in the Bay Area, whereas Tim and and William are down here in Southern California. And thanks, Ed. And Gil is saying, why is it that a person has to, this is the question, the $1 million question, Gil. Why is it that a person has to justify the need for AAC? I don't understand it either. I don't understand. And then, yeah, Gil said, I'm sure Darlene will have more insight, but it's probably ableism, yeah, plain and simple. Okay, David, Eureka, okay.
On the justification thing, which infuriates me beyond makes my head explode. I would love it if people, you know, that you don't have to do it now, but if you think of it, shoot us an email. I would love to get a sense of how often this is coming up and in what context, because I know it comes up, I think, way too much as people like enter into the SDP, into the self-determination program. I feel like people who have had the need for supports, whether it's communication support or anything like that, something very basic to them as a person, and have needed it all these years, suddenly need a whole assessment to get, you know, to get that authorized. It may be, you know, that regional centers do have a lot of authority to require assessments in the Lanterman Act, but whether they are kind of abusing that, I really wonder. I just feel that it's just so burdensome, and it really infuriates me. So keep us posted, everyone.
Well, I think too that so most people in SDP for sure are having to put communication down as an unmet need, right? And then it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of a thing, that because it's an unmet need, then they go, oh, well, then you're going to have to justify it because we've never done it before. Well, you've never done it before because you were not meeting the need, right? But you as people have been living your life and your communication challenges the whole lifetime. But it's because it was their choice to not acknowledge it. Now it's becoming, oh, well, we'll have to get some documentation on that. What? But it makes no sense. So Gil says we're working on that problem and finding solutions with our AT lending library we're building. So Gil, where are you, Gil? Do you want to, would you be comfortable talking about that, Gil? I'm looking for him. Or her. Oh, Gil, there you are. Would you talk about it? Okay, I'm gonna unmute you.
Yeah, I think this is a problem that's kind of been in existence for a long time. We were fortunate enough to get a grant to build a lending library for assistive technology for individuals so that they can actually go in and test out the devices before purchasing, because you just don't want to purchase a device and have it sit on the shelf because it's just not going to work. So we're working on that, but we're also working on figuring out ways to support those families, those individuals that have purchased a device, because I was hearing earlier, I got my device, but I don't have support to learn how to use it properly. And so this is where we are figuring out a way to find a device you need, test it out, and if that's the device you need, and then we come in with training. We come in with like, okay, let's help you with your Dynavox. Let's help you with ProLocal on your iPad. Let's help you with all these different assortment of devices so that you and your family know how it works, and you can move forward. So the goal is really to tie in your environments that you live in. So if you go to a day service, people in your day service know how to operate and help you with your device. If you're going home, your family knows how to operate and help you with your device. If you're going out into the community, you're getting a job, you're getting, you know, support in that way in your community, people in your community would know how to help you with that device. Like when you brought up the work employment, I think this is, if you have an employer that is willing to sit down and have the patience to help learn that device with you, that is just priceless. I think as we all get older, as we all age, we're all going to be using assistive technology. And so it just so happens some may use it now, some may, we just never know. So being able to have a support system that supports you in all three of your environments, home, community, day service, that's the ultimate. And that's what we're working on right now at PathPoint, figuring out that solution. I've been working with self-determination individuals, and it's just been amazing because the family members come in, they join in on the call. I show them through, secondary cameras on Zoom how to navigate and go through the maze of having to figure out the technology. I think in terms of regional centers, what I'm seeing is that they have never been educated on the importance of assistive technology. And this is an entirely new frontier that we're just now moving into. I see Tim there, who also has been doing a lot of great stuff with cognition, and building those relationships, helping regional centers understand what this all means for an individual is the next frontier. And that's what we're working on right now.
And okay, so hang on, stay there for a second. So what I like that you said that I think we all need to like really hold on to is you're talking about all the environments.
Yep.
And right now, our society systems, the ways that we have these systems, they're all broken up and individualized, and they don't want to talk to each other. They say, oh, that's that guy's thing, or that's this guy's thing, or that's this guy's thing. And they're actually designed to not talk to each other. But yet you have one person communication need that's their communication. They don't have three different ways of communicating. They want to have one, like the rest of us do, one. So I think that idea that, we have to break down the fact that it's not an option to not talk to each other. I think I've told this story here before, where I remember a few years back, I was in a school where the student was given a device through their personal medical insurance, but it was only for social and safety. But she was going to school with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was supposed to come in and make it school oriented. Well, she's the same person. She needs to say what she needs to say in all those environments.
Yeah.
It was so counterproductive because then everything got all complicated and there are all these different layers rather than being a continuous system. So I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I truly believe that's the boundary. That's the bridge that needs to be built. They're just, imagine just going to work and using your voice, but then you go home and not being able to use your voice anymore.
Right.
Or you give a person who's never had a voice for the first time, and they connect to the world. They open up, and it's just that, seeing that happen. Many times I've been able to see that happen. It's wonderful. So yeah, tying in all the environments, you got to function 100% in each one of those environments. And if you can provide the support to those families, those staff, those community members to understand and realize that this is how the individual communicates, this is how they are integrating into the community, normalizing things. It just needs to become normal. And so that's what we're building right now. And it's every day is a learning experience.
So many stories.
But yeah, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me.
Thanks.
That's that point.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to remove these spotlights here real quick if I can.
I got it, Darlene.
Thanks. Okay. All right. That was great. That was great information. Can somebody translate for us what Lulu is saying?
Ernest just put it in the chat.
Oh, Ernest did. Okay. So many students are evaluated, receive a communication iPad, and never receive the support and services to learn to use it, nor do they get services to train the people who will help them to use it. Exactly. That is a huge problem. I think it's the old, again, it's an old archaic thinking that when you get a piece of technology, your problem is solved. And that's not true, number one. And number two, we're talking about a personal piece of technology. How would the manufacturers of that technology know exactly what you need to say in your house in Bakersfield? Like, how would they know that? There's stuff that has to be done to make it yours, right? And that's what the follow-up's about. And I don't think there's an appreciation for that. Very good point, Ernest. Yeah.
I have a question for everyone besides Bob Williams. Does anybody know of any typer that works for a state agency, even at DDS or even on a city level?
I'd like to respond. I mean, I don't know the full universe of people who work at state agencies in California or the federal government, but I think I doubt that there is, but it's possible. Certainly no one who's worked with our community. But secondly, I would say, does anybody know anybody who types to communicate who works at a regional center? The regional centers go out and get jobs, and you're constantly talking to Starbucks and to Subway and to these places for people to do, you know, work in food or to clean up, to do recycling. But the regional centers don't employ our folks either. And so, you know, that's one of the things we got to ask about as well, because they would know, they're supposed to understand accommodations, right? More than the mainstream employers out there who we have to educate. And I don't see regional centers walking the walk either. So the one thing I can say is one of the things we learned last week at our leadership training is that Governor Newsom committed to making sure he employed people with intellectual and developmental disabilities at all of his agencies, all the state agencies. Now, that's not the same as somebody who is non-speaking, but that still is somebody with IDD. So at least there's that. But having one person at an agency that employs 10,000, you know, we could do better, but at least that's one. So, so that's good.
But Judy, here's another thought. So you don't like to be of age to go work at regional center. You don't magically become this all-knowing person. I don't think our educational system sets people up in the numbers that they can and should to be people that they set you up to work at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it has to be an everywhere thing. It can't just be like, I mean, I agree. There should be people working at regional center and all these other agencies and you know, just as employment in general, a diverse population. But I don't think that our school system, especially for AAC users, prepares people to be in that role. Unless you're like Ryan Duncan would or Tim Ginn or something that has family and advocacy going on while you're learning, for sure. And there's probably others too, but I just know these two people individually that were brought up that way. I do not think our school systems take that responsibility.
That is for sure. They're not setting people up to be employed at any environment, really. And because obviously McDonald's is a highly stimulating, very difficult place to work. So it's not like my son would not do well at a McDonald's. Well, he'd eat a lot there, that's for sure. But it's not I think that it's critically important that that those expectations start from the earliest age. But that's also on regional centers, because regional centers are supposed to be helping us access what we call generic resources, which are school districts.
Yes.
And yeah, somebody's putting in about Department of Rehab, also not helping folks find good jobs. So it's you know,
In the private sector, such as Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, they are fully inclusion with people with disabilities, especially in the deaf community. I believe that the private sector is much more open than our government agencies.
well, that's sad. Because the government's
also-
supposed to be reflecting who we are, the people. So that's just sad.
But that's also, if you think about it, like for me as a professional that has worked in the school system, if I was talking to a special ed team, constant barrier. If I was talking to an inclusion teacher, a general teacher about us trying to help them with the supports that they need for the student that they have in their classroom, they're very excited about it. They're like, yes, show me, tell me, how can I do this better? How can I do my job better? But the special ed team, those people, that was the barrier.
Yeah.
Very rarely was it actually the inclusion team. It was usually the special ed team getting over there. So it kind of trickles down, right? William's talking about how this whole unmet need idea, and regional centers want them to use Medi-Cal. But he has his equipment that he needs the support now. Yeah, the default. Oh, Medi-Cal should pay for that. Then you have to prove that it's something that Medi-Cal doesn't pay for. And why is that your job? Right? Ryan says, I worked in a workshop in Department of Rehab. What are you talking about, Ryan? Are you saying you worked in a workshop? Ryan Dungawood? Really? And did you want to do that? No? Or yeah, I can imagine. No, wow. I'm astonished, Ryan, knowing you from the past. Carrie said Department of Rehab is no good finding jobs for nonverbal people, period. Yeah. Well, William has got that challenge. How about even people who have communication but need support to be heard, in a sense that you just need almost like a supported decision-making kind of a format where you have people helping you to make sure people are listening to you and not ignoring you. I'm not going to say it, but I'm kind of looking at Marie. But I mean, are there people that are having their voices not heard even when people are helping you? William says there's a big difference when you change your mind to see the possibilities instead of the capacities. That's right. That's right. We got to get that bumper sticker made too, William. Yeah. Possibilities rather than capacities. Yeah. Okay, anybody got anything else going on here? Now, nobody wrote in here except for Deva. We're gonna get her in there to talk about, how did you word it? I liked how you worded it, but I don't have it committed to memory yet. I'm looking back, so you don't have to say it again, I'm sorry. Anyways, what Deva's gonna help with using her technology. Now it's going to bug me, Deva, because I loved how you worded it and now it's gone in my transcript here somewhere. Lost. Okay. Anyways, Anything else that you guys want? What else can we do? We want to do social groups. We'd like to look at how to do social things. Now we could, revoicing. Okay, see, that's a term I'm gonna write that down because I haven't used that term before. And I like it. I'm sure it's not new. It's just something I never heard of. Revoicing. You know, Tim, we could do social groups in here if we did breakout rooms. Tim likes that idea. Oh, you created it. Okay, Deva, that's good. All right. Marie likes that idea too. Okay.
Can I ask the group of what would you like to see next year? Do you want more informal sessions such as when we had departments of rehabilitation on? Or do you prefer more session that involve cultural change when we had Latif presented? What would you like to see next year?
Or social opportunities. Are you talking, Marie? To us? You want me to unmute you?
Social.
You like that? All right, we can do social. Excellent. Deva, Gil is asking if you could explain revoicing. Hang on, there we go. I think she's eating dinner. She might type it. I'll let you, are you gonna type it? Okay, all right, she'll explain that to us. Okay, so Marie's saying she's up for the social ideas. We could actually do, does anyone know, we could do breakout rooms too. This is an option here. Lulu's asking, does anyone know of an independent evaluator to do an assisted assessment in assistive technology district for an 18-year-old who has never received support and needs a lot of help starting with the communication iPad? So where do you live? First of all, that makes a difference. And then Mark, we'll come back to that because we just need to know where you live and then we'll see who we can help you with. Mark is saying, I really value learning from persons' experiences and their journey with using AAC. I think this is the best way to gain understanding the joys and challenges that persons who work with face. Okay, perfect. Oh, Lulu's in Orange. Well, there's TASK, right? Is it TASK or ATEC? Who does the assessments? Okay, so Deva, I think that, and then there's CART. You want a school district one though, right? So I would say to go to ATEC. If I'm getting that right, Tim. Yeah. Dave says, okay, so revoicing is having someone repeat after me what I say, like an echo. Carrie says social groups would be good because we live in a verbal world. Okay, I like it. I think that that's definitely a doable thing. Should I put in the, I'm going to put, who, well, Michelle, you're on here too. Who do you say, Michelle, for Lulu in needing an assessment in Orange?
It's been a challenge, Darlene. I don't think Bernadette Kennard does, or she wasn't doing Orange County, but maybe reach out to Trivinity Consulting. Task. And ATEC has been back and forth whether they're having staffing. It's yeah.
Oops, not task.
Yeah. Team of Advocates, Special Kids.
Okay.
ATEC does not have an A, it's ATEC, Goodwill ATEC.
I could have just looked up the website, but, am I not doing ATEC spelled, oh, there's no H?
No, they do all ages. Yeah.
No, is there did I spell ATEC right? ATECH?
No, no H, ATEC.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, and CART in Downey. Yeah, I don't know if CART, they're probably not the best for school district stuff. They're great for adults. And well, 18, 18, you could still do school district stuff. Can you put the company for evaluation in the chat, please? Yep, there you go, Lulu. Oh, you could call us at
I have
half.
a,
Go ahead.
Darlene, I have a question for you. As a famous SLP, why doesn't more SLP accept Medicaid? Is it hard to be certified or is it because of the funding stream?
I think it's because of the funding stream.
Um,
And the paperwork too. I can remember when I worked in an office that did take Medi-Cal for us here in California. And for the number of requests that we would get for this service, because we were only so many people, we weren't like a huge office. They would change, this is a stupid little thing, but this is how it worked. They would change the paperwork like every 6 or 12 months. And then you had to buy a whole stack of these papers, but you only use a couple and then they would be invalid and you'd have to buy them again. This kind of stuff happening all the time in all different, coming at you in all different ways, makes it, I think that and the rate that they give, which is ridiculous. So it's not a competitive rate. And so people just say, forget it. I mean, for me, when I was in private practice, I would, because it was just me, I would usually just tell people if they needed, I would just do it for free. If I had time, rather than go through all that paperwork problem. Because if I didn't have the time, I didn't have the time. But if I had the time, it would just be easier to me. It's that painful of an experience. Okay, yeah, so Gil's talking about Path Point as well. Gil, what city where are you located, Gil? Are you up north? Thanks. Oh, Santa Barbara, okay. All right, so not too far. Thanks for all of these, Michelle and William. So who was asking for that? Lulu, you can put that, you can grab these in here. Okay, so we have to find, this is the hard part. It'd be great if we could find more AAC users or people with communication differences who are actually employed to talk about what it's like to be employed as an AAC user, huh? That might be a challenge. How are we going to get anybody there from, are people there from the schools? Put a thumbs up if you can with your reactions button. Anybody from the schools out there? Too bad Carl Harvey School, where Jim and I went, has changed because that school was great for disabled kids. Ah. Carl Harvey, I don't even know where that is. It's in Orange County. Is that where you went, Tim? What school district was that in? See, this is the problem too. And this is why we have to do like Lateef and probably you, Deva are talking about. But this is a people person thing. You know, if the administration from the top down is inclusion minded, is person-centered, is presuming competence, they can create a culture. But then if they leave, that culture can leave and disintegrate, right? So I know that here in my community, we had this was 30 years ago, we had a school that we was a segregated campus, and we opened it up to the community, right? And so it became open. And when they hired the first principal to open that school up for the community, which had been a segregated school, which he was not the principal of, but they hired a new guy. He was totally on inclusion, and he was there for probably, I don't know, 20 years maybe. He would not hire a general ed teacher unless they were okay with inclusion. Every single teacher on that campus was okay with inclusion. Okay enough to get the job. And he was a stickler about it. But then he left. And then the people who were just saying they were okay with it, but they didn't really want to do it anymore, they started raising their voices.
Whoa.
And the culture changed again. Now it still is more inclusive than many communities, but there was a significant change after 2 years of him being gone in the culture at that school, which was really sad because it was so awesome that he really wouldn't hire a teacher unless they were going to get on board with this, you know? So, oh, Carrie says this is Santa Ana. Huh, interesting. All right. Yeah, but it's the people person thing, right? It's so people dependent. People change and then the culture changes. Yeah. All right. Nobody thinking from the schools. Okay. Trying to see what else. Okay. Let's talk about what we have a few more minutes left. Let's talk about what kind of things you can do or people can support you to do to make sure that you as a communicator or us as participants in meetings for individuals that are there to help people with needs are advocating for communication. Like, what can we do? Like, I'm thinking, you know how you start a meeting with we call it strengths and weaknesses. Shouldn't that come from you, the person? Okay, Marie, go.
I would go to advocate, try to go to a supporter, a advocator, and see if they could help you, or you go around your support team and they will help you.
So do you bring your someone from your support team to different meetings and things that you go to?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
And do you still lead the meeting and they just step in if you're being ignored?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So that's working.
Yep.
You should tell Marie, you should tell people, would you mind telling them just the elevator pitch version of how you got to be where you are today? Like that transitional time you've had in the last few years.
Okay. Well, it's you would go step by.
What happened? How did you live your life before? And now that you are a self-advocate.
Oh, I got a support team, and it's a really good team, I could tell you that. I had a big team. My Suzanne, Jonathan, the list is huge, but yeah. But yeah, you would sit down every week or whatever you decide how much time you need each week or month or one day a week. And then you would sit down and you would talk about decision making. And
what was your goal? What were you trying to accomplish?
Pretty much they're helping me to try to do it by myself, but they're there to for support.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes when you, what kind of things do you have to get their support on?
You would get support in almost everything, like like if you're gonna do like medical, for medical records,
Mhm.
for like if you needed help with like if you're going to a doctor's appointment, or with relationship.
Have
with
you
your
had any
rela-
problems in the doctor's offices?
Yes, I had.
What did that look like?
Well,
If you don't
I
mind, you don't have to, don't share private stuff.
yeah, well, it was, you know, kind of tricky, but I would have to sometimes call somebody to get support
Uh-huh.
because my worker didn't know that question, so I would have to call my aunt, or yeah,
Oh,
or
that
call
is
my
the history, right? The history.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a
That
good
is
point.
the part. I'm learning.
Yeah.
But that's why you have your group of supporters to help you with
Mhm.
your life and to make decisions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, so you don't have to do everything all by yourself, right? None of us do. Were you gonna say something, Tim? Does anybody else use supported decision-making in their lives? Does anybody not know what it is? Kind of curious. So supported decision-making is when you are going to bring with you as a communicator a team of people. Deva says I call it family. There you go. It's your friend, it's the family you choose, right? So it's your family that you choose to bring with you and assist you so that you are understanding what people are talking about and making sure you don't have any questions that don't get answered, and B, that you're getting to say what you need to say and your voice is being heard, so that you are the person, in theory, you're the person making the decision. But the reality is people like to act like the rest of us do this all solo. We all bring in people to help us to make important decisions. That's a good idea. But it's a little more formalized and a little more part of your needs, right? Ed's putting in here, if you're looking for a primer on supported decision-making, DVU wrote a book on it. Yep. This is aimed at parents of people with developmental disabilities, but the resources in it are good for everyone. You can find our SDM handbook on this page. And now, is this correct, Nina? Because I always worry that I'm saying something incorrect. Now, in the state of California, supported decision-making is recognized as an option, right?
Right. As a concept, it's finally recognized in California law. We had, big legislative push, and we got a bill called AB 1663 adopted that is about conservatorship reform, but it establishes for the very first time in California law, supported decision-making, and it defines it, and it is clearly, an alternative to conservatorship. It has, details in it, but that's a huge step forward for the state, a huge step forward.
And this isn't something California made up. There are lots of
No,
states.
it's something like 18 states have it recognized.
Yeah.
And, it's a concept that is known, all over the place, sort of like it's a good cousin to self-determination. It's all of a piece, you're person-centered, and what, the person has their choice and control over their own lives. And in supported decision-making, it's a concept that has you identify, your and develop and nurture your trusted supporters that can help you make decisions without having to lose, all your rights when you turn 18. So it's very exciting, and I think it can be of huge help for things like communication supports, for people who need communication support.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that, Marie, that's been a big part of your life. Yeah. Yeah. So, and Carrie was saying that she writes letters to her doctors. Very good. Very good. And I'm assuming they're received well, Carrie. Okay. Yeah. That's the trick, right? Is what do you do when people don't listen? Oh, you got an answer to that, Marie?
Use your voice.
You just keep saying it, right?
Yep. Until they budge.
Good. Good. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Don't give up on your dreams.
No.
They'll come true.
That's right. I think Tim's creating something here. So Ryan, yeah, there's a couple of conferences coming up. So the TASH conference is the first weekend of December in Phoenix. And then also Disability Voices United, we are doing the Breaking Through Barriers conference on December 2nd, which is the Friday, which is for self-determination. So if you haven't registered for that, then go to, maybe Ed could put up our link, there you go, and register for that. I think you can still get regional center support, is that true? Yeah, okay. So if you are a regional center client, check that out with them, or if you're a family member, some of the regional centers are figuring out how to get that done for you. If you're a self-determination person already, you're receiving funds through self-determination. Oh, Monica, here, go Monica, hang on. I'm doing it no justice. Go.
It's okay. You're doing great. I just wanted to I just want to add that 3 regional centers, local advisory committees, the self-determination local advisory committees, are fully paying for the conference. So if you are vendored through Orange County, Redwood Coast, or Valley Mountain Regional Center, you will go through the normal registration process, which indicates that you're funded by a regional center. When we see those 3 regional centers, we send you a quick follow-up email saying, you're all done, you have no more steps. We're gonna get this taken care of for you. Sorry, I have a birthday background on here. I see it's nobody's birthday. It's just a wrong background.
I thought we were celebrating. We're just celebrating.
We're
DV.
celebrating the conference. We're absolutely still taking registrations through all of the regional centers. We're vendored with all of them. All we're looking for is you to register on Whova and then take those next steps with either your service coordinators or your FMS. I know I've seen some wonderful panels, amazing speakers, awesome sponsors. So there's a lot to look forward to, and I want everyone to register. We have interpretation, and maybe somebody else could include the languages we're interpreting in.
Mhm.
There's a lot
We
to
got
look
this.
forward to.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Monica.
Welcome. Thank you.
Erica, I'm gonna unmute you, ask to unmute you.
Sí, en español. Buenas tardes. Están hablando de esa conferencia, pero ¿quiénes están invitando a las familias a ir a la conferencia? Porque muchas mamás, yo las estoy invitando y dicen que no saben de eso. ¿De qué manera pueden compartir esa información de las conferencias a las familias para invitarlas?
Monica, you want to do that? Hang on, you gotta unmute yourself, Monica.
Thank you. I think I understand, and if I'm off, so if you are a family member of a regional, someone served by a regional center, you sign up through, say it's your child or your sibling that you support. You sign up, the registration process asks what regional center they are with, their UCI number, and then you need to follow up with the service coordinator.
Monica, I hate to interrupt you. Please pick your channel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got you. I came in late. Restart. I'll restart. Thank you for the reminder, Ed. Family members of anyone served by a regional center can attend. When you register through the regional center funded tickets, you're using the information, the questions asked, who is the person served by the regional center? What regional center? What is their UCI number? Who is their service coordinator? So you can register for free as a family member of a person who supports someone served. But then you need to take those next steps with the regional center, which is to obtain the funding. Please reach out to me directly. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help. And if I misunderstood the question, I'm happy to.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. I would like to, because conference promotion is kind of my arena, I would like to weigh in on this. I think this is a question about conference promotion, not conference registration, from what has just been messaged to me. So, Erica, I'm really happy that you asked how you can share information about the conference with parents. I've been doing my best to post on social media, particularly Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram about the conference. I've just put those links in the description. You can also, or excuse me, in the chat. What you can also do is you can forward our emails about the conference to people. We're sending them out very, very regularly. In addition, I've put both Spanish and English pages that tell you everything you need to know about the conference in the chat. And I'll do that again. So that first link in the message I just put is the Spanish page. And the second link in the message I just put is the English page. So if you share that with folks, that's going to give them all of the information that they need to know. And of course, you're welcome to direct folks to our email, as well as to our, and Judy's just put a conference flyer in the chat, 2 conference flyers, one in English and one in Spanish, probably. So, you know, we really appreciate you asking how you can share that information. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ed. Yeah, definitely do whatever you can and want to share. This conference it's titled Breaking Through Barriers. The theme that we're kind of creating for this is that we want to give you tools, assuming that you're in. We have SDP Connect, which is another meeting that you could attend through Disability Voices United. So that's kind of like the introductory stuff that we do. This is more about, and there's going to be sessions on introductory as well, but we're going to go also further into, okay, so now I'm in my 2nd year or my 3rd year. Here, who was it that was in his 4th year? Paul. He's in his 4th year. But we want to make sure that we're helping people and we're getting conversations going that are going to help people stay in it and keep growing it. Okay. So there will be some introductory, but really the meat of the introductory is in our SDP Connect. This conference is about keeping yourself in, going, and thriving as a person who's in SDP. Yeah, thanks, Ed. And Ed says this is all about breaking barriers and making sure the program is sustainable and is around for many years to come. Exactly. Yeah. And there will be some courses some of the sessions will be completely in Spanish and some of the sessions will be interpreted in Spanish. And I think we also have some sign language sessions.
Yep, we'll have one ASL breakout session per block. So we have 2 blocks of breakout sessions. And then our plenary, which is the whole conference panels at the beginning and the end, will be interpreted in ASL, Korean, and Spanish.
And Monica.
I want to point out that a lot of people are asking when the platform's going to open. So we're working on it. It is not open yet. You have not missed it. I've been receiving lots of emails about that. So it's coming up. I don't have a date. We're not going to miss it. And you will receive an email on the email that you use to register for the conference. So we're almost there.
Oh, it'll be open before December 2nd. Yes, Marie.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Or,
definitely.
The person who is handling our tech stuff, Kira Chiriola, they're not on the call, so I don't want to speak for them, but I know they said in a private conversation to me, they plan to open it the week of so that folks can get practice, folks can go in and interact with the interface. Of course, you won't be able to actually see the panelists yet, but you will be able to see, okay, this is where I go for the expo hall. This is where I go if I want to check out all the sponsors, things like that.
Great, thanks. And Lulu, I'm asking to unmute Lulu.
Sí, yo quería mencionar si es posible que tal vez lo pueden compartir con los cónsules de todo California para que ellos a su vez lo compartan con otros, pues con todas las familias, porque el problema es que no va a llegar a suficientes familias. La otra cosa que quiero mencionar es que sería bueno seguir abogando por los fondos para los facilitadores independientes, debido a que esto va a ser un problema real cuando empiece el siguiente año y se bajen los fondos a solo $1,000. Estamos trabajando con muchísima gente que tiene 0 POS, que tiene solo unas 4 o 8 horas de respiro. Entonces esto va a ser, un facilitador necesita acompañar a las personas a veces a 2 o 3 audiencias para poder conseguirle los servicios que realmente necesita, y esto con $1,000 no alcanza para eso. Y si me pueden cerrar mi micrófono, voy manejando, por favor.
Yeah. So we actually, Lulu, we have a whole session on what's going on with the independent facilitators. I forget how it's worded. I'm not saying it right. But someone who has that window open could jump in. That'd be great. But anyways, there is a session on the issues around independent facilitators and how things are happening, changing, whatever we want to call it. So there will be a session on that. There's also, as far as putting the information out there, we are putting out email blasts to our list, which does include, any way that we can get it out there to the whole state, we are doing that we know of. Right, Ed?
Yes, I just wanted to say, I've just put my email in the chat. It's edhertzel@dvunited.org. And I tend to post to the same places over and over because that's who we have within our network, but I would love to expand that. So if you know of a Facebook group, or if you know of a community-based organization who might be willing to distribute our conference materials through their email list, please email me. I would be happy to give them the materials and to reach out. I would really appreciate that. It would make my day. So again, that's edhertzel@dvunited.org.
Oh yeah, and it's called, the one I'm thinking of that you triggered in my head, Lulu, the impact of the new directives on independent facilitators.
Yeah,
Thanks.
actually, there's 2 sessions on independent facilitators, one in the first morning breakout sessions and one in the afternoon breakout sessions. The one in the afternoon is ensuring successful partnerships with independent facilitators. So there's definitely really valuable information about independent facilitators, but because the conference is really about the whole system and the importance of all the pieces, I think everyone, independent facilitators, people in different roles, will really benefit, you know, no matter where you are in the process. So please come.
And Ed's going to grab all these different people's email addresses that can be helpful. And she's needing Cecilia's email. That would be great. Yeah. Okay. So this is our final one for 2022, our final Communication Access Connect for 2022. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We're gonna we'll get going and we're already starting to plan next year, but we're hearing social is a thing, so we might want to do some of that. And then we'll put Tim on that. He's the party animal here. And then William too. And then also we're going to continue looking for AAC users who can talk about their lives as AAC users. So if you want to present, think you have something to share to the group, please email us. You can email any of us at anybody's name you can figure out, and we'll get the message to each other. But I'm at DVU. I'm Darlene at DVU United. Oh, wow. Deva can reach 2,000 disability folks with a few emails. Okay.
I will definitely send you the promo stuff, Deva, and also to Cecilia and to Erica. I will send you the promo stuff as well.
Awesome. Thanks to you guys. Go, Tim. Wow, that's a knack, Deborah. I'm thinking Tim wants to say something, so hang on. Can you please send it to, okay, Trini's asking for information as well, Ed? Oh yeah, okay, she's got it.
I want to thank the staff at DVU for making this possible. Darlene, Nina, William, and I just talk, but Ed and Kyra and our wonderful Lorna and her team did the real work.
Absolutely. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Definitely. This is a highlight of the month for us. We really are gathering and, you know, thinking about, like Nina said, how we can put this advocacy out there in a bigger way, rather than just, I mean, sometimes it might feel like we're all sitting around, but these words are going places, right? So that's the whole idea. All right, it's 5:30. We need to let our people go, our interpreters go, which is no guilt because William likes to leave on time as well, don't you? So thank you all. Have a great holiday season, everybody.
Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, happy New Year.